Other news, gun violence is plaguing many cities in our region, and Philadelphia has had over 130 homicides in this year alone and is on pace to set a very grim record. Boston also seeing a surge in gun violence. Baltimore has had more than 90 homicides, and like the cities just mentioned, has seen the use of guns related violence rise sharply. But the city is fighting back, and last week Baltimore Mayor Shiela Dixon unveiled a bold plan to stem the violence. The program is called Gun-Stat, and Mayor Dixon joins us now live to explain a little bit more about the program and how it all works. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Well, Baltimore police have collected more than 300 sawed-off shotguns, revolvers, semi-automatic guns just in April. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, how bad is gun violence in the city of Baltimore this year?
The gun violence is getting bad, and what we're trying to do is really focus on getting these illegal guns out of the city and out of the hands of the most violent offenders. And we came up with a strategy that we have begun to implement that's really focusing on tracking those guns, but also working with our U.S. Attorney's Office as well as the state prosecutors as well as state government to really come up with a plan that we've been working on. Gun-Stat, tracking those guns, because what we're finding is the guns are coming maybe 3 miles from Baltimore City. And so we're putting a major effort behind all the parties to really address this issue.
It's kind of a four-prong program here. You want to reform the police gun unit to trace the illegal guns back to the sellers. How do you hope to do that?
Can you repeat that?
It sounds like what you want to do here is you want to create a program for the police gun unit where they're going to be able to track those illegal guns back to the sellers. Can you tell me how you would do that?
Well, the way we'll track that is we are creating Gun-Stat, and through Gun-Stat we will be, as we confiscate guns, as we go out and aggressively take guns from the hands of individuals, we will be tracking them back to determine where the guns came from, who purchased the guns, where the guns were purchased. And we're doing this through a number of mechanisms by keeping certain stats that are important that we can gain by the FTA working with us as well as other organizations through this process.
You're also going to create a registry of city residents convicted of gun offenses. I think a lot of residents are shocked that hasn't happened yet.
Well, as we find offenders who have been convicted of guns, we're having them to come to the police stations, and this is where the real partnership comes in with our state and federal prosecutors, to register these guns as they are reported. And so that's going to take local legislation as well as some changing of state legislation to make this happen.
There's also lobbying going on right now to toughen up the sentences for people who are convicted of sales of illegal guns. Tell me a little bit about that and where we are now and where we would like to be.
Well, what we're attempting to do is that we're not saying if you are registered to have a gun that you can't, but we have a lot of innocent victims that are being killed, sons, daughters, fathers, mothers, and if we don't get a handle on this issue, then we can't throw our hands up. And so this is an effort, a partnership through all of the parties involved to make this happen. And so there's lobbying going on, and we want to make it very clear that individuals who have the right to have a legal gun, that's not what we're going after. We're going after illegal guns that are actually killing people's lives on the streets.
If you can take the illegal guns off the city streets and shut that down, how much of an impact will that have on crime in Baltimore?
Oh, it's going to have a tremendous impact on the crime in Baltimore, because most of the crimes that are taking place today as a result of gun violence. And so it's going to reduce our crime dramatically. But we're not only going to be dealing with moving those guns off the street, but what kind of other support service can we provide individuals and their families to bring about hope to individuals who are involved in these activities. There are other choices that people need to make, and we want to provide those choices as we balance what we do going after our most violent offenders.
Baltimore Mayor Shiela Dixon, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. Very serious.